Record to the cloud. There we go. Okay, good evening, everybody. And for those that'll watch the replay, I truly appreciate it. I know that you're going to truly get so much out of this. So I'm going to do announcements and some shout outs at the very end of this. I really want to get to the nuts and bolts of the call. A lot of you know, as a team, like the story and stuff that we've been going through lately. And for me, it's been a matter of being very intentional of getting out, especially when I don't want to and I don't feel like it. And I am in a couple of networking groups here locally, and I wasn't getting real connected in the beginning because I couldn't always make the meetings. But recently, hi Dillards, I've been trying to really connect more and build those relationships and just find that trust and find that community, because we all know that just does so much for our soul and our hearts, and it just reminds us of why we're here, right? To connect one another. And yesterday I had the pleasure of sitting with Arlene. Some of you may have saw my sun tattoo, and it was because I was sitting with this beautiful woman, Arlene, yesterday. I first met her by accident on a golf course. I was with my church and she was there representing Stella and Dot. And then I had a Stella and Dot party probably about a year and a half ago, I would say. And then saw her again at a networking event. And this woman, I have to tell you, everywhere I saw myself getting out or everywhere I started meeting women, like Arlene was there. She's so intentional and she's such a hustler and she's such a go-getter. And I was connecting with her again today on the phone. And I didn't have any intention when I picked up the phone and talked to her of inviting her to the call. But as she was talking to me and as she was telling me about like this gathering that she's having in a couple weeks at her office and why she wants to have it and her heart behind that, and just knowing her story of where she's come from a lot of tribulations, but really just changing who she is, I was like, she needs to talk to the team. Like, I need to have her on to share with you guys. And I know that you're going to get so much from this. So Arlene Braungardt is currently a real estate agent. It's a new career for her with John L. Scott. And she's also a Stella and Dot personal stylist. And she has an amazing history. So I'm just going to kind of ask her a few questions tonight. And the intention behind those, and me knowing what she's going to deliver to you guys, the intention is just really to inspire you, to let you know that anyone can do this. And her being also in the network marketing field with Stella and Dot, she just has, I can't wait for you to hear what she has to deliver to you. So Arlene, with that, I know you are, oh, there's Kristen too. Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Hale. Hi, Shriners. I love you guys. Okay, so Arlene, let's get this started. And I want you just to kind of share with everybody your background, kind of where you come from. And, you know, we mentioned yesterday when we were talking that when you walk into a room, you guys, she lights up a room. Like Stella and Dot stylist to the max. Like everything is on point, from the earring to the ring to the bag, like all of it. She's always so put together. And yet we were talking about the fact that someone can walk in a room like that and look so put together, and yet they've got a story. Like they didn't just come out of the womb like that. Like there is a story behind that. There is struggle behind that. There's a foundation under that that made her who she is today. So let's just start with that, Arlene, and just kind of share with everybody your background and kind of where you come from.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you, thank you for inviting me. And it definitely was not on our attention when we talked today. But I'm honored to be here with all of you and to meet this woman at a golf tournament. We were at the 10th hole, I think. But let me start off with Stella, like being put together. I'm going to give you one of my fashion tips. I'll show you this. My pants, they're camo pants. Don't know if you can see them. They're camo jeggings, and you can friend me on Facebook, on social media. I'm happy for that. You'll see in my picture today, I got some camo jeggings on from Walmart, okay? Walmart rocks a style. Who likes Target or Old Navy? It's great for every person in the family. So, and it's affordable, okay? So, gosh, I'll give you a little bit about me. I'm originally a Pacific Northwestern girl. I was born in Seattle. We moved to California, to Northern California, when I was 2.5. I'm the only girl of 3 brothers. That will give you a little snip about my life as I go on and share with you. And I'm gonna get really raw here, and thank you, Jennifer. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I called you Jennifer. I'm so sorry. And thank you, Tanya, for allowing me this space, because this is going to be one of the first times that I actually share this story with another direct sales team. So it's my personal story. I plan on writing a book. But my life coach told me, if you want to write a book, you got to start sharing your story. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's scary. But we're all meant to do hard things. I know this, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. So my parents, I'm the only girl of 3 boys. My parents were divorced. My parents are divorced. They separated, got back together when it was just my older brother, who's 2 years older than me, and then myself. And then my mom is a hippie. She decided that she needed to go, the independence. I'm 48 years old, by the way. I was born in 1971, so this kind of gives you a little bit of a time frame. And I admire her for going out and setting off into the world and following her dreams and her passion of becoming educated, getting a college degree, and then deciding that she wanted to become a realtor, and then became a broker and retired. And she is now retired, but she became a broker in 3 states. And talk about a vibration that was like out of control. That's never something I've wanted to do. So with that being said, she came back around into our family, and then there came 2 more young boys, and my older brother and I looked at each other like we had no clue what was going on with our family. We're like, okay, well, I guess we're back together now. But then they divorced. So that left little me, the only girl, kind of confused, like didn't really know what was happening. And I'm my daddy's girl. And my mom kidnapped me twice. The last time I remember, I was almost 5. My daddy's from Guam. My mother's from South America. My grandfather from Guam flew to the United States, hired a PI with my father to find me. So needless to say, I'm daddy's girl. I was raised by a man. There was a lot of drama. Okay. My parents, what I do know is being raised with 3 brothers is I never wanted to be left behind. I wanted to play with them all the time, but they never wanted me to play because I was a girl, and so I've been through everything from climbing a tree, but I had to go through poison ivy to get there, wanting to learn to ride a bike, and they shoved me down the church parking lot hill, didn't teach me how to use the brakes. So you become resilient and you start learning how to figure things out. They put a snake in my sleeping bag when I was 4 years old. I mean, come on, right? These are just things in life that happen, but you learn to get over them and just keep going. So where I'm going with this is that between the ages of 4 to 9, well, it's from kindergarten basically until the 5th grade, I went to private school. My daddy said, okay, well, I'm not going to let my prized possession be harmed anymore after being kidnapped and like all of this crazy family drama. Because if somebody tells me they have a perfect family, I'm like, you're lying. Okay. Show me something else. Let's keep it real and raw. And that's where I'm going right here, because I'm just laying it out there. He wanted to protect me and thought that sending me to a private school was going to protect me. And it gave me a great education. Like, I'm not going to lie. I learned how to make my bed really well because I was in a boarding school, and I still to this day do it. Doesn't matter how tired I am, because I can't stand looking at just who I am. It's my system. And the last pillow that I put on my bed, because, the pillows for women, it's like stuffed animals on a bed. It says choose happiness. So the last thing that I see, it says choose happiness. So I went to this private school and I got an amazing education. But what my daddy did not know until last year in May, because I didn't decide to drop the bomb on him on Father's Day. I just said, well, I better do it in May because that's typically Mother's Day. My mom's been absent all of my life. Is that I was physically, sexually, and mentally abused from the ages of 4.5 till I was 9. And when I say it might get dusty, that means tears. So if it gets a little dusty in here, I'm just going to keep going. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I never shared this with anyone, not even my ex-husband. I was married and I've been divorced for 10 years. And you would think that this would be something I could share with my best friend, but I didn't. And the reason why is because I thought I compared myself to everyone else. And comparison is a thief of joy. I don't say that I don't even like to say it's a thief of joy. I say that it robs you of your joy. So there's a few things that I do know. is one, I don't compare myself to anyone else anymore. I stay in my own lane. And the reason why I want to share this with you is because it just gets a little easier for me to share, but I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't learned how to overcome. And, sometimes people ask me like, well, how does your day start? After going through all this, like, how do you start your day? Well, I can tell you, I am a woman of faith, and I believe in the power of prayer, and I believe in gratitude. And my day starts, I don't even look at this. Everybody got one of these? You can wave your hand if you do. I don't even look, yay! Okay, so I don't even look at my phone, guys. Like, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, I do not look at my phone when I first wake up. There's so many people that go to social media right away. And to me, that's like ruining your day. So I set an intention every morning for gratitude. It starts with gratitude and starts with prayer. And it starts with something so simple as I am happy and grateful for a new day, for the four walls that I live in. And I am so beyond blessed to live along the Boise River. I get to have my window open at night and hear the Boise River go by. And now it's so beautiful because it's spring and the birds are chirping. And sometimes I can hear people walking their dogs. And to me, it's a very peaceful place. It's my safe place. So I wake up every morning and I start with gratitude, and I have a power of prayer, and I don't ever look at my phone, email. I never look at social media right away. I carve out a minimum of 30 minutes to myself. And in that 30 minutes, I also drink at least 16 ounces of water because our bodies are dehydrated after sleeping, and of everything from the activity from the day before. I always visit my why. Like, in your business, you all have a why. You started your business for whatever reason. I can tell you that my why as a realtor is that I plan on starting a foundation. I don't have children, by the way. I'll go to that super quickly. My mom's a rare survivor of ovarian cancer. I went through the change 5 years ago. So I'll take the change going earlier, like at 43 years old versus cancer any day. So I don't have children. But I remember, like, I think of my why, and my why is because I want to start a foundation. I want to give back into my community, and I plan on starting a foundation that supports IT degrees for future college graduates of BSU, Boise State University. And Boise graduated less than 200 people last year. Salt Lake City graduated a little over 5,000. That's another topic that I can talk to you later in my why and discovering. So I visit my why, and I remember my why. And my why also starts with my family. I put my faith in my family first. I shared with you that my mom is from Argentina. She's South American, and my grandparents came here, and they were immigrants. And both of them were educated, collegiately educated. However, my grandfather couldn't go back to school to make his education work in the U.S. because he had a family to take care of. So that's one of the reasons why I am choosing a foundation that has to do with education, because I realize the value of education. Now, what I do know is that college is not for everybody. If I could do it all over again, I would have chosen a different path. But for me, I know that there are children, and maybe some of you are in your business because you want to support your family or your kids. I'm not sure, for college education, for even maybe just things now like summer vacation. I visit my why all the time. And I remember daily, I have daily affirmations. And I say, why am I showing up? I'm showing up every day to support, to influence, to motivate, and to inspire. And then the last thing I do before I even actually really look at anything on my phone, emails or anything, is look at my calendar, because I calendar everything in my phone, but I also write it down. And the reason why is because I like to check things off. So you have to use what system works for you. What I use every day is I show up every day. I wake up, gratitude, prayer. I go over my my why, my daily affirmations. I actually write down, that's right here. These are my daily, I write down, this is my gratitude journal. So I actually write down in a gratitude journal 10 things I'm grateful every day. And one of them, like I shared with you, is my 4 walls. I'm happy and grateful to have 4 walls that I live in. I get to hear the birds chirp, the river, and I have hot water to take a shower. It's that simple. I think that sometimes we take these things for granted and we just expect all of this stuff to come to us. But it's like, wait a minute, start small. And like, what are you actually happy for? Are you happy for the food that was on your table tonight or earlier in the day? Because I know I am. Okay, so enough about that. What does anybody have a question for me so far? I'm going to pause. Okay. So people have asked me about, another question that people have asked me is like, how did you find the strength to keep going? And I can just tell you that I was a soccer player since I was 3.5. I started being like, thank you, Vicki. I was a soccer player at 3.5 before any of the trauma happened. And so that was always my outlet. I'd go kick that ball. I'd go run and kick that ball. And I would kick hard. And they say that sometimes the person that is the quietest has the loudest mind. And that was me, because I didn't know how to speak up. I did not know how to use my voice. I didn't know that this was not right. I didn't know that my childhood trauma, the things that were happening to me, to be physically abused, emotionally abused, and sexually abused, I didn't know that that wasn't right. So I kicked my ball a lot and hard, and I chased it. I used to dribble like my ball. I was like that crazy kid. You know, does anybody watch basketball like the Utah Jazz or like Steph Curry? Steph Curry shows up an hour and a half early for every practice and does the same thing. Like, I mean, this is going to age me, but Joe Montana, do you know how many times he threw the ball the same way? Okay, so that gives you the same idea. I was a soccer player. My dream was to play in Europe, and by the time I was in the 8th grade, I was signing a contract to play soccer in Europe, in Germany, for a 2-year scholarship at a German university. That's how I showed up every day, and that's how I got through my childhood trauma. I chose to put my head down and not make any excuses for me, because I didn't know. But what I did know is I knew what my dream was. And at a young age, I had an athlete's mentality, which is drive and a competitive edge. And I was told by my grandfather every time he see me, like how much he loved me and how much that I had stars in my eyes and that I was supposed to shine my light. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought he was just crazy. I'm like, what? Oh, here we go again. Crazy old grandpa. So after going through all that, I'm going to show you one other thing, and then I'm going to move forward fast forward to my adult life. In my office, I keep this. Can you see this? If you can see this, just raise your hand. It's a buffalo. Okay? Yay, thanks for the hands. Buffalo, does anyone know that buffalo is the only herd animal that will actually go through a storm? So if you think of a storm that's coming, okay, because like we're in spring and everything's new, and right now I'm really captivating on the new season. Flowers are blooming, all stuff, but you have crazy spring weather, right? And then it's sunny, and next you know, depending on what part of the country you're in, you could be like, even here in Boise, the rain could come in and you're like, what is happening right now? Well, every other herd animal, like horses and cows and everything else, they'll run the other way. But the buffalo keeps going through the storm. And a friend of mine had this made for me a long, long time ago. And it was this beautiful polished rock. And whenever I get nervous and I don't know what I'm doing, or I just need to refocus, I go to my gratitude journal, and then I also read my affirmations. And it's like my Wibby or my stuffed animal, okay? Because buffaloes go through the storm. And in life is hard, right? It's not easy. Karen, let's see, the Dillards, are you a couple? I'm just assuming. Oh, they're nodding their head. Okay. Now, is your relationship easy? They're laughing, I can see. Relationships are not easy, right? Business isn't easy. It could be your business relationship. It could be your relationship with your friends, with kids, your relationship with your kids. Oh my gosh. I don't have kids, but I'm an auntie of 6 nieces and 4 nephews, and I got enough cousins for 2 football teams. And we could probably have third strings, like no joke. Can you tell I'm an athlete? Like seriously. Okay, so have the buffalo mentality and go through that storm. It doesn't matter what it is. Know your why, know why you're in your business. Sometimes you have to revisit your why, okay? So how I got to even be an entrepreneur, I went through college. I had a full ride scholarship. After coming back from Europe, I knew that I just wanted to finish the last 2 years of high school, go to college, and be done. I wanted to go travel. I was like, oh yeah, no, these baby stuff, I want nothing to do with that right now. But I also didn't believe in myself because I had an absent mother. So I thought, well, if she's not around and I don't really have an influence, like I'm probably not good at that. What I'm good at is I'm good at working hard. I'm good at being a kind person. I'm really good at my faith, and I love my family. I'm good at those things. So I'm going to stick with what I think I'm good at. And really what I was doing is I was sabotaging myself, and I was telling myself, I like to call it the drunk monkey. It was like I had this drunk monkey running around in my head going, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Anybody ever had one of those? And anyone ever put in your own self-doubt in your head, telling yourself all the reasons why you can't do something, when realistically, it takes just as much time to tell yourself you can't do something than to make the decision to do it and go. So if you've ever heard of Mel Robinson, she has a rule, it's called the 5-second rule. And I remember this from playing soccer, from doing all of these drills, that it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Just go. What's the worst that's going to happen? If I could be a child from the ages of 4 to 9, 4.5 to 9, and get through and still have a 3.9 GPA and go through all of this stuff, but what I knew is that I had a dream, I had a vision, I had a focus. I wanted to play soccer. Once I got there and I got to Europe and played soccer, I knew I wanted to come back, and I wanted to get a full ride scholarship because my parents weren't going to pay for school. They can pay for school. My dad's a retired cardiologist. I mean, for goodness sake. But he was like, nope, all my kids are going to pay for it. So I did. Fast forward my first adult career, I worked for JCPenney when I was 16 in the stockroom. I wanted out of that stockroom. It was like office space. It was dark. I had my headphones on, my auto reverse. I was listening to Pat Benatar and Air Supply. Who else was I listening to? Those are the first 2 cassette tapes I remember. So, and I thought it was so cool because I could put it on auto reverse and I could like hit rewind to the other song and I could go forward, but I was in control. And I knew that if I listened to some pump and motivated music, I could crank through these boxes and I could be done. And next thing you know, I was getting promoted to the gift wrapping station. I was so excited I got to see people. I was like, yes, I'm 16 years old and now I just got promoted out of the stockroom. Dude, it was the best thing in life. Graduating high school, earning a scholarship. I then went into the MIT program, manager in training. I learned how to buy all the accessories. That's how my first start in fashion. And so back then they told me I had to wear makeup. I didn't know how to wear makeup. I didn't have a mom. I was an athlete. I mean, my hair was down today, but like I'm rocking a messy bun, getting it done. Like no excuses. Nobody cares what I look like right now. I'm just getting it done is what matters. So I had to go down to the makeup counter and I had to be resourceful and ask for help. And when you get stuck, what do? I got stuck. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. I asked for help. That's all I knew how to do is like, okay, I got to be resourceful and figure this out. I'm not here to sit here and say, I can't do this or poor little old me. I just got promoted out of that stockroom, for God's sakes. I'm like ready to go. I'm so excited. Fast forward then, I get recruited away by a company called Abercrombie & Fitch. I'm so excited. I'm like, yes. Now I can wear Doc Martens with a plaid shirt wrapped around my waist. Mind you, I'm originally from Seattle, so I'm like, all right, here we go. So keep going. I decide I'm done with fashion. I'm done designing. I designed the first 4 seasons of the women's fashion line. That's how I got my start in fashion. Thought I wanted to open a restaurant with my brother, really learned what service was like working in the restaurant industry. Then I worked for the Cheesecake Factory. I opened 28 stores. I wrote all kinds of training material. My sweet spot, friends, is I love style. I'm great at service. I'm great at operations development, AKA fancy word for training. So I got in a car accident 7 years ago. It changed my life. At that time, I was living on the water in California in the Bay Area. I had a boat out back, no kids. Dude, I'm living large. I just hired a personal trainer. I'm getting ready to train for a half marathon. I was training my mind and my body, fueling my body with certain foods, like everything. Life stopped. And I'm going to wrap this up, and then because I know that I want to be respectful of time, but you guys, my life stopped. And again, I always say that if you don't know how to slow down and you don't know how to be grateful for what you have in front of you, and you keep going a million miles an hour with your hair on fire, it's almost like you're drinking gasoline from a fire hose and your hair's on fire and you just keep going. Every now and then, you might get a tap on your shoulder and you might be humbled. Because let me tell you, I learned that if I didn't slow down, God was slowing me down. I couldn't pick up a basket of laundry as 5 towels. I had to have an in-home nurse come help me take a shower and wash my hair. I had a housekeeper who was so kind. She not only cleaned my house, but she did help me do laundry and did some simple meal prep for me. I learned to be resourceful and ask for help. And then I had to call my mentor, my longtime mentor and friend who I'd known from the fashion world and Cheesecake Factory. And she told me, you've created magic for so many other companies. Why are you not creating magic for yourself? So then I had to really dig deep and I had to pray about it. And I dug deep in my soul, and I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was scared. I was a designer for another company because I could mess up their line and it would be okay. Because if I messed up my own line, then I just wasted all this material and I was like, oh shoot. So, you know what I mean? So I don't have it here, but I have it laminated. I'd gotten a letter from my company that said I had 3 days to get my own COBRA insurance. And I was terminated. I was earning 6 figures. I was killing it. What I thought was killing it. What I thought was success, what I thought was happiness. And little did I know, my grandpa was right. I had stars in my eyes and I was meant to shine. I was meant to shine my light, and I was meant to inspire other people. And I was meant to use my gifts of training and share my story. And what I can tell you that right now, what are my non-negotiables daily is on my phone. It says, let me pull it up. I can share this with you. I have on my laptop, when you open the screen, oops, I don't want a video. When you open the screen, I have, this one says, I don't know if you can read it, but whenever I open my phone, it says, be fearless in pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. So I encourage you, you can write it down. You can go look on Pinterest. I have one also on my desktop, but it's a girl in a pair of jeans and holding a coffee cup because I'm originally from Seattle. I like black tea, by the way, but I'll drink coffee too. I love good coffee. Not all the time though. But it says, be fearless in pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. So what I'm here to end this with you tonight is that surround yourself with only positive energy. The negative Nancys, the whining Willies, the drama manas, the Jerry Springers, cut them loose. If you want to move to the next level in your business, you've got to separate yourself. You have got to elevate yourself. That is just the beginning. And your environment, like you can see my office. There's a plant. I love plants. And then I have inspiring things. And then up here, it says, be grateful. So every time I look at my board with my clients that I've supported and helped, I'm grateful because I am going to be starting a foundation. So I'm going to end this with you is to visit your why. And your why has got to be stronger than any paycheck that you're going to receive. Because we can all have a job. I have had jobs. I've had 6-figure jobs. But what happened is I was in a car accident that I was supposed to have neck and back surgery. I've overcome. And let me tell you, my friends, if I can overcome without having a mother in my life, if I can chase my dream of being a soccer player and making it to Europe, if I can overcome and come back to the United States and work my ass off, for lack of better terms, to get a 4-year scholarship, and I can overcome every single thing that someone's thrown at me and says you can't do it, that's a challenge that you look at with a wink in your eye and you say, watch me. but it's not going to happen unless you start with your why. Thank you, my friends.
Arlene, I want to say real quick, because you guys can see that there's no fear in this woman, right? And you can sense her energy, like you can feel it. It's popping through the screen. And everything she said that she surrounds her with is in tune with the direction she wants to take her life. And I know for some of us, it may sound like a lot. Oh, she's got affirmations. She's doing a gratitude journal. She's got an accountability partner. She's got a coach. But Arlene, I just want you to tell us all those things that you do in the morning, your prayer and the gratitude. I mean, how much time does that really encompass in your day to get your day started on the right foot, to remind you of where you're going?
It takes, I set aside 30 minutes. I time block my day. But I know that when I have full schedules, I don't even use the word busy. Because I think I think it's a bullshit excuse, quite honestly. Everybody is busy. I don't care, especially if you're a single mama or a single dad. Oh my gosh, because there's single dads out there. My dad was one, okay? It comes down to, what is your priority? What sets your soul on fire? What are you pursuing? Why are you in your business? Why? What do you want? Are you showing up to serve every day? And if it's that important to you, you will make time for it. If not, you will find an excuse.
Yeah, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
So sometimes what that means, I know for some of you moms and dads, is that means that your only quiet time is before the kids get up for school. And I know that because my daddy used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning so he could have his coffee before and go for a run before his kids got up. But the oldest one had to take care of us when he went for his run. But that's how he got his exercise. That was the only time of the day he had for himself. And Arlene, I'm not telling you guys to do that by any means. You need to do what works for you. But one of the things that I shared with Tanya is that, some of you that have teams, and a team could be you and one other person. It doesn't mean you have to have on my Stella and Dot team at one time, I had over 300 people. I've scaled my team down and I focus only with leaders that they have big whys, and because I want to help them. And it's not always with money. I have someone right now, she's working on just feeling confident.
Mm-hmm. And you said to me earlier when I talked about,
I said to you earlier, thank you. Squirrel. So if any of you would like a side coaching session and you tell me what you want to work on, I am happy to do a coaching session, complimentary, with Tanya on the call. And we can just set it aside. All I need is I just need preparation ahead of time. Just let me know what you want to work on. And sometimes for some people, it's just digging your why. There's different things. I've been in Stella and Dot for 9 years. The company's been around for 11. But I've been working with business coaches. And as an athlete, I've been working with professional, mentors for a long time to get to where I am. And I understand that you've got to start small sometimes. And this, you guys, I got a 3-pack of these for $4.99 at Marshall's. I mean, dude, I like Walmart too. So as you can tell, my pants I'm wearing today. I'm on a budget too.
Love it. And Arlene,
I am here to serve. I'm here to help you. I don't know. I hope that my story has helped you. My biggest delivery is what is your why? And sometimes this is spring, it's a new season, everything's coming to light. If you started a goal in the new year and you're not quite there yet, or you killed it, awesome. And if you don't beat yourself up, just start again. It's okay. Today could be your New Year's Eve, and tomorrow could be your New Year's Day. I tell that to my team.
I love that. I love it.
Thank
you so much. That was so good.
My pleasure.
I'm so glad this worked out. Thank you, on a whim's notice, for saying yes.
Okay, I'm going to jump off.
Okay.
And I will talk to you tomorrow, my dear.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
All right. Bye. One thing I wanted to say too, guys, with Arlene's story, can't you just sense her energy? It's so electric. I love being around her. And in our networking meeting that we were at last time, Arlene, it was one simple question, but it was the way that she delivered the answer with her energy that everyone wanted to meet her. And even tonight before she got on, she wanted to have, she said, can we just talk on the phone for like 5 minutes, 5 focused minutes to talk about tonight and how I'm going to deliver it and if you're okay with it. And so everything that she did up to coming on tonight and the way that she kind of even coached me through how she wanted to deliver tonight, you could tell that she treats everything she does. She's a businesswoman and you respect her because she's very intentional with her time. And I think that's very important as we're growing our businesses as well, that we don't let others dictate our time. Because if we do, we're going to feel like we're all over the place. We're going to forget our why. We're not going to know where we're going. You have to know where you're going. And Arlene is just such a great example of that, you guys. And she knows what her time is. Like tomorrow, she's like, I've got something I want to give to you. I'm going to be in an office in Eagle from 10 to 12. Can you come between 10 and 12 and I can give it to you? She's like, after that, I'm done. I have to go downtown. Like she just knows where she's going. And so I'm like, okay, you make it work because she's dictating to you what her schedule is and you respect that. And I just think that's something, sometimes you even have to fake that, right? If you're setting up an appointment with somebody, we've always said that. If you've got a completely open calendar, don't just say, well, what works for you? Say, you know what? I've got Wednesday and Friday from 10 to noon. What's going to work for you? Or whatever it may be, but dictate your life and then fill it in where you can. And the one other thing I want to leave you with is when I sat with her, the one important lesson she said to me is as I was speaking to her and telling her things, she's like, well, what about you? What are you doing for you? So that's the other thing. I just want to make sure that as we go through this business and as we're building it and as we're dictating our own time, make sure you have that time for you. Like she said, 30 minutes in the morning, right? If that means you have to start creating that habit where you get up 30 minutes earlier so that you can have prayer, you can go through your affirmations. And I love that she said her gratitude journal and her affirmations were like her security blanket. That is so beautiful. That is like her lifeline, her affirmations and her gratitude journal. Imagine that being your lifeline. Like, how doesn't that make you feel so good? That's so uplifting and joyful to know that you are reading these affirmations that you created for yourself, these I am statements of where you know you want to go, and then walking out the door as if you've already achieved it. And then you attract the people into your life that you want to attract. It's one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves. So I just want to wrap it up real quick. Be on the lookout tomorrow. The Pose are launching an end of the month incentive, and it's going to be based on tickets. So if you sign up a new customer, you get a ticket. If you bring in a silver pack, you get a ticket. If you bring in a gold pack, 2 tickets. A platinum pack, 3 tickets. If you rank advanced by the end of the month, it's 4 tickets. Then they will do a drawing at the end of the month, and there are prizes like Elite Academy tickets, iPads. All of the leaders are throwing in gifts for everyone. And if it goes well and people are working really hard at the end of the month, it's going to start, I think it starts today, but they're launching it tomorrow. But from the 23rd to the 30th, every enrollment you get is ticket-based, and then they will have that drawing at the end of the month. And if it goes well, they'll do it for the entire month of May and have even bigger prizes. So they're really, really excited about this. And then I just wanted to give a shout out as well. We've had some amazing, I love the texts that have been coming through lately of people introducing their new team members. Really make sure that when you bring someone new on board, send out a mass text with that new team member in the text thread. Usually that's the last person we always forget, and then we have to redo it. But if I brought in Candy, I'm going to put Candy first because she's the newest member, and I'm going to include the Pose that brought me in, and then Nikki and Joanne. I'm going to go about 4 levels up, and I'm going to give them a little bio of Candy and say, welcome Candy to the team. I'm so excited to have her here. Here's what I know about Candy. Please give her a warm welcome. And then she's going to get 4 more texts from other people welcoming her to the team. And it's just a great way to get them started and make them feel like they're a part of something really beautiful. And so I just want to say, I wanted to welcome Mark Mollis. He was brought in by Diane Lodermeyer in Minnesota. Stephen Leslie by Emily Dahlheimer. She's killing it. Gina Sawada by Arla Sawada. Melissa King was brought in by Beth Primrose under Dawn. and then Laura Dannenhold by Jennifer Freeman, and then Marianne Walker by Holly Freeman. So congratulations, you guys. And then also Brian Scott, I know, introduced some new team members today as well. So congratulations, everybody. Okay, guys, let me stop the recording here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and then we'll say prayer.